Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Medium's Table. I'm your host, Michelle Gardner. This podcast is your personal invitation to join me at the intersection of the everyday and the extraordinary. Together, we'll explore the magic of mediumship, share spiritual stories, and connect with fellow mediums on this incredible journey. So grab a seat, pour yourself a cuppa, and come join us at the Medium's Table, where spirits gather and stories unfold. Disclaimer, just a heads up to all our lovely followers. Our social media is a space where we share personal stories, including those of various mediums. Let's keep the vibe positive and respect each other's beliefs. Every journey is unique, and here we celebrate the diversity of experiences. I'd like to welcome back to the show our amazing panel of mediums who are going to be, well, might I say, taking over the show today, because this is a hot topic that they know about, and I haven't been completely informed on it all yet. So I'm going to be listening and watching it all unfold, just like the rest of the viewers and listeners. So before we get started, welcome, guys. Welcome back.
Thank you for having us back. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thanks.
And let's go around and introduce each one of you to start with, because if this is the first time you're tuning in, I want you to know who these mediums are and exactly what it is that they do. So let's start with Christian.
Hi, I'm an evidential medium. I also do trance and tarot cards. And if you would like an appointment, give me a call.
Ooh, I love that. And I will have his details in the description. Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia, and also known as Synchronicity Sweetheart, and I'm an evidential medium. I'm also a trance medium and many other things.
Ooh, I like the many other things. That just now makes me curious, and I have questions, but we can ask those later. Jeannette.
Hi, I'm Jeannette Nunez, medium, evidential medium. I do trance and and again, kind of just open to a lot of things. I do hypnosis. I've done past life regressions with spirits and a lot of therapeutic elements that usually are tied into, believe it or not, the work that all of us do in mediumship, because it's all about the love and the connections.
Yeah. Now, Jeannette has a regular spot on our show now where she channels. I do encourage you to go back and watch that. It's quite fascinating. Not only do you hear the changes, but you see physical changes when she's doing this trance work, and it is phenomenal. I'm just going to give you a little teaser. I think in the last one, episode 64, your eyes were rolled back in your head. It was
not attractive look. I've actually, when I watched it, I thought, could I get away with dark sunglasses? Like, the Heat games in Miami, but I'm like, no, that shouldn't be so ridiculous. Yeah, but it did cross my mind. What? How could I fix that?
No, you don't need to do anything different, because this is the evidence that some of us need to see that you are definitely in an altered state. This is definitely not how you would deliberately want to display yourself out there to the world. You know what I mean? As in deliberately. So that's perfect. It is perfect how they've brought all of this together and brought it through. Now, also, Christian and Alicia have some very interesting episodes as well, and I will put all of the episodes into the description underneath each medium's name and how you can contact them, so you can go back and watch and listen to their stories. Now, today, the topic for today is going to be handed over to Jeannette. Take it away, Jeannette.
Michelle's just going to pour herself a cuppa and hang back.
Exactly.
I don't know, Alicia, Christian. I don't have a topic. I have a story. I don't think. Okay, so if I had to put it into something, okay, like super high star caliber, Hollywood people knocking at your door, you'd be like, what are you doing here? I don't know you. And so it's something relevant. Let's see, a superstar, like religious individuals, archangels and stuff like that then come through, and at least I was left wondering, oh, why me? So with that, that's as close as I can, come around to explaining it. I'll get a little bit what Michelle was referring to in episode 64. My piece is called Unlimited Connections, because when I start to do trance, I don't really get a heads up on who's going to be coming through. So a few years ago, it was an alien collective, and that took me months to digest and be able to sit with. It didn't help that the holidays, because it happened right around this time, actually 2 years ago, it was Halloween, which I thought was very fitting, and Christmas, and people are buying gifts, and hey, let's put up the tree. And I'm like, no, but aliens, so it took me a while to be okay with that. And they continued to come through. And what occurs in that 64th episode of the Medium's Table is I go into the trance, and the first thing that takes place is that I see in my mind's eye, Jesus. My human reaction was like, what the hell? Because how is this possible? But that's it. The trance started, whatever. And it was a very deep trance. I didn't remember. I had to actually listen to it. If you watch that episode, when we're done, Michelle's talking, and I'm just kind of, which really isn't like me. I usually have comments that I throw in. It took me a while to get back and actually get into the flow of it. But it also left me a little shook. And I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be like an October, event now every year, because it was Jesus. And then after Jesus, it was like a galactic energy, which was, it felt very different. I could say it was kind of like if you're riding a bike full out, and then you've got to jump off and swim, and your muscles are kind of like, wait, I'm supposed to, from this, I'm supposed to move. So it was like a quick shift from the galactic. It went into an angel, which was totally zen and peaceful. So it was a lot for me. When you start to do this work, I can't tell you how amazing it is to be able to call people like these friends of mine, Alicia, Christian, Michelle, and say, I'm freaking the hell out. Do you have something that you can share with me? Or, talk me through this, because it really isn't something I can ask ChatGPT. Or maybe I can't, I don't know. But yeah, but they've been around a lot longer than I have. I started to do this maybe like 3.5 years ago, or 4 years ago at this point. So when I get into that kind of a situation, I beg and scream for, a life preserver from, who I consider to be those who have been doing this, and who do it with honor and with light and love. So I know I can count on them and get something that is going to be truly helpful and grounding for me. So yes, so then we had a call, and I'm going to let them come in and say what they told me when I explained my situation.
Who'd like
Alicia.
to go first? Alicia. There's that silence of,
don't
should
rush
I go? Should you go?
Well, my initial, I guess, observation was that you felt very, very uncomfortable with the entities that came through. And so the question I would like to ask you, which, we talked about a little bit already, but for the audience, is why was it that you felt uncomfortable with the entities that were coming through?
Yeah, I did a little, little dive into that that weekend. Oh, because I forgot, I neglected. This is what really blew the top off for me, because it was the taping with Michelle on a Saturday night. And then Sunday, a friend of mine that was here said, hey, you just do a trance together. And so I'm like, okay, sure. Not expecting anything, no pressure. And when I started to go into trance, I hear, Ave Maria. And I'm like, yes, that I think is what I was like, what is happening at this point? So, and she came through, Mother Mary, and it was beautiful and very, very deep and very much to the point of what needed to be heard there for those people. But it did leave me. So back to his question, and like I said, and I'm going to be 100% honest, and it took me a bit, and I thought, you know what it is? I did not feel worthy. Kind of like what I said, Brad Pitt knocks on your door and be like, no, this is not happening, right? That's what it was. I just thought there's so many individuals in this world that have been doing things like this for so long, or, oh my God, a nun or a priest or somebody who's, spent most of their life honoring them. So in a nutshell, that's what it was. I did not feel worthy to carry that energy or to have that connection made through me.
Yeah. So can I just ask, Jeannette, when you were talking about the three energies that came through in that episode 64, the last one was religious-based. Did you feel that was Jesus, or who did you feel that was closely connected to? Was it angelic?
It was an angelic feeling for me. And I can only speak to the experience that I have where I know I had an angel. And this one actually announced who she was, or it was, said, I am an angel of passing. And then they went into the whole process of death, and it was very beautiful. And she took questions. It was really cool. So that was, and then I've had others that are angels speak through me. And I'm going to tell you, as a human, the closest I have ever come to that feeling, even like once they leave, is having had some wine and then sitting like in a hot tub, where your blood pressure just drops and everything is just like chill. You're not really engaged in any of the issues that you have to resolve or the people that you need to call back. It's totally peaceful. So relaxed. Yeah. So that was a sensation with that one. And I viewed the episode, and then it made sense to me because the Jesus visual at the beginning, I think, was almost like an abstract before a dissertation or an introduction, to a paper, or the title that lets you know what the story is going to be about. Because in seeing him, obviously you're seeing all of the world religions, all of the different belief systems. And when I heard that last one, I'm like, I get it. It was about world religions and about our belief systems and how they're all different, but the same. Yeah. So it was really moving for me. I mean, my daughter will tell you that I'm like one of my worst critics. And she said, what did you think of that? I go, for the first time, Brie, I was impressed with what came through. So yeah.
Yeah. And I understand that, as, again, when that's recorded, is literally happening live in front of me. There's no, I just insert that piece of Jeannette in there because we've done it, 3 weeks earlier and I knew what was coming. I had no idea what was going to happen until you went into trance and they started speaking. And after the first one, I thought there was a silence and I thought, oh, okay, she's
We're done.
She's coming back out. That was quick. And then off you went again. And then I'm thinking, oh, okay, all right, well, this is different. And I'm taking notes, and then next minute off you go again, because I sort of give you that, which the audience doesn't see, that moment of quiet just so you can come back, which I cut that out, so you can come back out of trance and get back into your physical body. So I'm just sort of taking notes as I'm assuming you're coming back out of trance, but oh no. Off you went again for the third time, and I'm like, okay, this is really unusual. I don't know. Okay, we'll just roll with that. So, but it's interesting in the audio when I'm editing, you can see the audio waves. I'm not big on the technical terms. The first one is really, the waves are very big. Then it starts to taper a little bit smaller. And the last one is just so soft and gentle. And it's incredible. So you can see in the audio, without even hearing it visually, how the tones were playing out between those three. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
I noticed that the frequency, and the second one that was, I think, galactic, it's like really erratic, and they're really high.
Yeah.
Robotic. And then it goes into the angel, and it's almost just like a really cool. Regardless of all that, it did leave me, kind of with my head spinning a little bit, like, what is happening? So. As cool as it all was, you come back and you're human, and you're like, what do I do with this? How do I organize this in my head? Where do I put it? How do I use it? Understand it, dissect it, take it apart, put it back together. I was just like, I didn't know. So
one of the things that came up in the initial conversation between me, you, and Alicia on this was I pointed out that the angel of passing, also known as the angel of death, also known as Archangel Azrael, is also the archangel of mediums and mediumship. Okay, we can call on Azrael to assist us in connecting to those on the other side.
Huh.
And so it wasn't a surprise to me at all that Azrael introduced herself to you.
Who knew that? I just learned something new right now.
No, I didn't even know.
Me too.
That angel had a name. I mean, I've heard Angel of Death, because who doesn't watch great scary movies? But
right.
What is Azrael? What are you saying?
Azrael.
Azrael.
Well, one of the more common spellings is Azriel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be looking into that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Alicia, did you have something you wanted to share?
Well, I did. After watching Jeanette's whole podcast, it was phenomenal. And even today, as we're discussing this, I heard her voice soften when she spoke about that energy. And I think if we go back and we listen to this, you'll see your vibration change when you bring up the presence that you brought through, which I found very interesting, but just one of those things. But when I watched your video, it was quite apparent that the change was taking place even prior to you getting the angelic presence. And you just went, I'm taking a breath. And then you just started softening and quieting. And then you went on for the delivery. And as I was watching, it changed my vibration, right?
Whoa.
Because, when you feel that come through and that softening, it was the change. I felt the change. And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. But coming from your perspective, I could understand how you might have been feeling. I'm not you, so I'm not there. But there's something to be said for higher deities coming, right? I mean, like, am I worthy of this? Oh, for the love of goodness. What's going on? How and why are they utilizing me? And that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Years ago, and this is what I told Jeannette
Which
when
was very helpful.
when we spoke. There is this, when I first started my endeavors, I thought I was a psychic. I didn't know that when I would do my work, I would be meditating, thinking I was doing psychic work. My left hand would go up and start writing messages, and I was hearing them in my right ear. And I would get these long messages and I'd speak them into a recorder and then I'd type them out. And now, mind you, this was like 40 years ago. And I was like, wow, this is pretty brilliant. Oh, that was Jesus. This was Archangel Michael, whomever. And I still have them all written out and typed out. But
Wow.
it's fascinating. And I would be like, how could this be coming through me? And I would take these to a meeting. This is way back in the day when you'd all go to a meeting and discuss these things that were going on. And the women there and men said, well, this is because you're Catholic. You came from a Catholic upbringing, Jesus and saints. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's what it is. It's in my subconscious. So, okay. So one day I am now doing my psychic work and my left hand goes up, starts writing these messages. And I couldn't wait to get to the group because this is the chap I've never heard of in my life. So we get there and I go, oh, so I got this new man to come. It's not Jesus, it's not saints. Like, okay. I said, wait a minute. Gutanima, that's got to be his name here. And they said, Gutanima. And I go, oh, yes, he has to be a real person, I'd imagine. Now, I can't be doing a Google search. This is before dial-up, It's like, so we are going
library time. Library time.
Right? Yes. We're going direct, all right. So they looked at me and they go, well, I said, well, hang on a minute. We'll spell it out. And Gudama. And I go, yes, that's it, I guess. Well, that's Buddha. And I said, oh, well, I guess this is information. Here you go. But it was that matter of fact. I had no clue what I was doing.
Sounds familiar.
So, yeah. Yeah, and it just happened. And, of course, others are saying, well, you're Catholic. This is why you'd say that. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll accept that. My subconscious is coming up with something and my arm's just writing it, whatever. Okay, I'm good with that. But when somebody I had never heard of, did not know, I was not a practicing Buddhist. I didn't even know what Buddhism was, comes through, as we all know, that is like one of the best displays of mediumship. You have no clue. I didn't know who Gautama was. Oh, wait a minute. It wasn't him. It was Gautama. It was the Buddha. So those are things to look forward to, is what I wanted to impart to Jeannette. More. Welcome it, because there'll be more coming in, and it'll be fascinating to watch it. I'm excited for her.
What I love about this story is that she goes to a place where they're all more or less of the same mindset, right?
You're right.
And they're saying, they're calling bullshit, right?
Right. Yeah.
And spirit comes through and goes, yeah, bam, here you go, Catholic, take it with Buddha and see what they say. And so she doesn't know if it's Guantanamo, Cuba, or the name of some Buddha that I wouldn't know either. And they're like, wait, what? So my question, so this was like, I think so great for her at that point, right, of her development. what did that group say once they got that? Did anybody say, oh, our bad? Apparently your religion background has nothing to do with this. You're really connecting with these energies. Was there any of that? I'm going to guess no.
No, 100% yes.
Okay.
And a couple of, there was one older lady who was a metaphysician, and she was in her 70s then. She said, "Oh, you're so powerful." And I'm like, "No, not really." But, and she said, and this is no lie, this is for humor in this. She says, she's telling everybody, she is so powerful that we could have Kool-Aid out here laced with something and she could bless it and we could all drink it and we'd be fine. And I'm like, no, I'm not David Koresh. We're not drinking Kool-Aid, whatever the guy's name is. No.
Yeah.
But yes, but they did change. Some of their attitudes changed, and they realized this was real.
That interaction is real. So cool. And I'm guessing you said metaphysics. What did you say she was? A
metaphysician. So basically into metaphysics and yeah.
Okay. All right. Got you. Yeah. So she used that for healing? Is that what that is or no? It's just that she's into metaphysics.
Right.
Metaphysician.
Correct.
Okay. So not physician like a doctor.
No.
Okay. I didn't know what the term meant. Okay.
Yeah. She's into metaphysics and all that it encompasses. And she was.
What I find interesting about that, which ties into what you said earlier, Jeannette, with the question that Christian asked you, is they had that mindset that Alicia, how could she be bringing through these, these people? How could she be bringing them through? How could she be bringing through Buddha? And it had to be because she knew something. So did they then paint her with the same brush of she's not worthy? You have to be someone to be worthy of bringing these kinds of religious icons. I don't know, how do you group them together? So that I'm hearing that again, and then you saying it, it's almost like that is a belief that has stuck with a lot of us, I guess, is still lingering.
Yeah. And it begs the question then, Jeannette, is it you don't believe you're unworthy or worthy? Or is it their projection, people's projection? Because when I went, they're like, "Oh, yeah, you can't. This is a joke, basically. You can't be Ching, this is your subconscious because you're a Catholic. Who are you?"
This question I got because both my daughter and my sister, first of all, I don't really go to any church or community that I have found here. I know the closest thing to me is Casa Vega, and that's like 3 hours north of Miami.
Oh, wow.
So I don't, so my community is pretty much the individuals who have been placed in my path that have all been like sterling individuals, right? That I have connected with this, like you all. And then my sister and my daughter-in-law, if anything, they get on my case. How do you continue to doubt yourself? You've had this evidence and this happened and this happened and this happened. And I'm like, yeah, I just want to make really, really sure that this is not like in my head and and I'm not making it up for some reason that psychologically I really can't even pinpoint anymore. It takes a while, at least from what I'm seeing, to be like, okay, because I remember when I first saw a spirit and this evidence, that was my mom or whatever. You're like, holy hell, this really happened. This is for real. Yeah. So, but no, my support group, they're all like, yay, Team Jeannette.
Yeah. But sometimes we don't see in ourselves what others see in us. So likewise, your family and friends who support you see you so differently to what you see yourself. And can I just throw in there, Christian's busting with a question, or he's got something he wants to say before he reaches through the screen?
I've got a few comments. One of the things is, I think this question of, not being worthy enough, okay, is not really something that part of it may originate with us internally, but I think it more has to do with observers who see us doing the work, who will try to label us as not worthy of this. Because when it boils right down to it, the entity coming through is choosing us to come through. Okay. So whether that's the Holy Mother or Jesus or Archangel Azrael, they are choosing to come through you when they come through you. And that's true for any medium that any entity comes through. Okay, so this question of not being worthy is really speaks more to, I think, self-doubt among the medium, and that self-doubt, I think, is rooted in people who are of I don't want to say higher necessarily, but people of high integrity who are open to mediumship, want to maintain that high integrity. And I know I myself only want to do this work if I can do it with integrity. And I think that's true for all of you as well. And I think that is one of the factors that's always in our mind, at least at the beginning of the process. I think, it goes away during the process usually, especially if we have a good connection. If we have a phenomenal connection, it's not really there. And then at the end of it, we're like, oh, wow. So, but I feel nervous a lot before connection. And I don't think that's unusual. I think most mediums, do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, Christian. And I just want to point out that's a really great, that whole comment that what you've just put forward there is how the spirit chooses the medium. And I just want to say this, they will choose the medium that if they want the word to get out there, that medium is going to do that task for them. That medium is going to get that word out there. And hence, Jeannette, here we are talking about it.
Yeah.
4 of us on a podcast, streaming to the world, and here we are talking about it. So why not you? Because you're the one who will step forward and talk about it.
I rarely reach out to people, hey, can you watch this, whatever, because everything is, hey, like me, whatever, share me.
Yeah. The other thing.
I did with this one because I thought it was such a great message that was coming through 3 of them. Nothing to do with me, but it's worth listening to. Of course, maybe one of my 15 family members or whatever. I'm like, actually, yeah, I'm waiting for the weekend. Like, okay, yeah, I've got this. Yeah, because everybody's got their own life and their own reality of what they've got going on. So, and Christian also, when I spoke with both of them, had a similar experience where he was connecting with higher entities. And he was like, yeah, kind of like matter of factly, I'm surprised I haven't come to you sooner. And I'm like, oh.
Oh, Christian, do tell. You've just been thrown under the bus there. Come on now.
Bring it.
If you go to my interview, I think I talked to you about Archangel Michael appearing to me, and motivating me to move forward.
But recap, because some people may not have seen that episode.
Oh,
don't be so stingy. Come on.
well, basically,
we want to hear it.
I was suing my former employer, and I lost my attorney, and I was in the depths of severe depression, and Archangel Michael appeared to me and basically asked me to fight my case, even if I had to fight it pro se. When an angel appears to you and asks you to do something, I mean, I suppose some people might say no, but I find it pretty hard to say no to an angel that appears to you and asks you to do something. So I did, and I'm glad I did, and I feel like I learned a whole lot about it, and I need to write the book on that whole thing and get it out there. But,
wow.
But yeah, but in that process of getting to that point, a lot of saints and bodhisattvas and small g gods appeared to me. Ganesh, Hanuman, Rama, Saint Santa Clara, Our Lady of Charity, Our Lady of Guadalupe, Our Lady of Fatima.
Geez, Jeannette, what's your problem?
I know all of those people. Some of them sound like a food I might order off a menu somewhere. Right. I know the Guatemala or whatever, and Fatima. Okay.
Santa Marta, La Dominadora appeared to me. Okay, there were a lot. Okay.
But did you know of all of these prior to this though, Christian, or did you?
No, I had to figure a lot of them out.
Okay.
I had to figure a lot of them out. Okay. And
so they didn't tell you? They don't tell you? You got to figure it out?
Yeah, but I mean, some are obvious, like Saint Joan of Arc is pretty obvious. I mean, how many women appear in armor with a sword?
Wait, just hold it. Stop. Take time out.
Joan of Arc? The phone here.
You didn't leave with her? You didn't leave with Joan of Arc?
I know, right?
And he talks about it so matter-of-factly. Yeah, and this
no big deal.
Oh, and that one.
Yeah.
It's a historical fact. The Maid of Orleans led the armies of France against the English and defeated them. So before they caught her and executed her as a witch. But
so Jeannette, at the end of the day, what Christian is saying is, when you called him, he was like, oh, so dramatic, Jeannette. Jeez.
Fine, go to sleep, baby. You're done. There's no big deal.
No, I'm sorry, Christian. Go on.
Anyway, but basically, these saints and angels, gods, whatever cultural entity you want to, that are out there, they're all aspects of the divine, and they will all appear to anyone that they feel they can help by doing so, who they also feel are open to it. And here's the thing: they wouldn't appear to you if they didn't feel you were open to it. Okay.
And do you believe also then, Christian, that when they do come through, yes, they're messages for you, but they could also be valuable messages that you share, or a story or a piece of information that you share with someone else that needs that?
I think it has to do with messages that you share too. I think it has to do with the journey you're on, which is not just your own karmic lesson, but it impacts the karmic lessons of other people around you. And we are all, we have our individual developmental journeys as souls, but we also have our collective journeys with our soul families and our societal soul families, and as a planetary development force as well. So all of that comes into play.
Mm. And how many years have you been doing this sort of spiritual work, Christian?
Huh?
How many years have you been doing this spiritual work, so to speak?
More professionally, really only about the past 5 years. But, as far as taking classes go and doing it, casually since 2008.
Yeah. So for those that are listening and watching, you're hearing from each one of these mediums profound experiences and visitations in their journey. If you are thinking about looking into anything spiritual or starting to be more proactive in perhaps intuition, or you've got a pull towards something that you really want to do, don't wait. Stop hesitating. If it's happening, it's a sign. If you're listening to this, I can't make it any clearer, but these are the experiences that you could be having. And some people may be saying, oh, but he's already a medium. Oh, but he's been doing that. No. We've all been on our journeys for different, very, very different lengths of time, very different. And we've all had profound experiences. Christian is fortunate to be able to share all of those worldly saints, religious icons, incredible, absolutely incredible experience to have been able to experience that and have them come to him. But again, like Christian, like you said, they choose you. And when you're ready and you're open, you're the conduit. So start now.
And can I add something just really quickly? That the messages are real, right? We give these wonderful messages from these higher deities, entities. But I want to say and ask you three, your personal experience. I have been to trance, listening to trance speakers, and where I can't remember a word of their message. What I remembered was that energy and the feel of that energy. So, are we getting the message with the energy? And is it creating a healing to the trance medium's vibration, as well as everyone's vibration that is hearing? Does that make sense?
Yep. So my thought, me, is words are so primitive. The emotion and the frequency and the energy that is taken into our soul and our higher selves and all that, even though we may not remember what was said, is far more important than the verbiage. That's my takeaway, and I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. And it's now become, which Christian and I recently were practicing together, I don't watch someone else channeling anymore. I close my eyes and I feel into that message, and I allow that message to permeate wherever it needs and settle wherever it needs to go. And it is incredible, the energy. It's like there's words, but then the energy speaks volumes and can be so profound in ways that will shift and move you that you could never imagine. So I agree with what you're saying, Alicia, and I'm guilty of being a trance coma student to a trance teacher.
well, here's the thing I want you all to understand, okay? And I'm going to quote Abraham of Esther Hicks Abraham a little bit, in that we are all vibrational beings, okay? We are spiritual entity, energy, vibrational beings. And the language of spirit is vibration. And the vocal voice, the words spoken, are a very fractional subset of that entire vibrational language. But if we channel a spirit, we're not just bringing through the vocalizations. We are bringing through the vibration itself. And the vibration itself is very comprehensive. Okay, it's not just about the auditory message. It is about, vibrational alignment. And in that vibrational alignment, there is always healing. There is always clearing.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess, Jeannette, does this help settle into the fact that you are more than worthy of all of these? We'll put Christian's list forward for you. So you can get.
So my question here, though, is they come when it's necessary, but because you said the angel of death, Azael or whatever, that would really.
Well, you can
with Joan of Arc.
You were brought up Catholic some of the time, right?
Yeah, my mother was Catholic.
All right. So when we lose something and we call on Saint Anthony, okay, that symbol, Saint Anthony, please come
so
here.
This is where it gets a little weird.
No, I'm making a point, okay?
Yeah.
And the point is we can call on anyone at any time.
Oh.
Okay? And we will get an answer if we believe we will get an answer. Whether it's Jesus or St. Anthony or Legua or Hanuman or,
Joan of Arc.
Or whoever it is. Okay.
I want a ticket to that show.
So in the next recording, let's put that intention out there, Jeannette.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now in Catholic terms, they would call it petitioning a saint. Okay. But basically, you can call on, any spiritual entity or any relative in spirit too. But against the key or friend. But the key thing is you've got to be sincere in your belief system. Okay. If you're just going through emotion, okay, you can pray 5 times a day, but if your prayers aren't sincere, if they're not authentic, there's no point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
it kind of goes back to, it isn't the verbiage, it's the frequency and the emotion.
Vibration. Yeah.
Come from you in wanting to connect to that entity.
Right.
Yeah. So there lies another question for you, Jeannette. At that time, were you thinking about, what did you call her, Maria? So I'm not familiar with any of these religious icons because we never went to church. Ave
Maria.
When that came through, were you thinking about that at the time? Was that as they say, was that in your auric field?
Yeah. Let me set this scene for you. So my mom, who's 94, we have a nanny that helps us on the weekend so I can have a life. And she's a santera, which is a whole different thing. And it's very mysterious and they're very secretive. But from what she's told me, they're all about saints. And they were white and they have a lot of rituals and it's very tight. And they have to have a particular room where they do, whatever that is, their trances or whatever, only in that room. So she asked me and I thought, okay. I said, so I don't know what, I thought you could only do your practice in, your ritual room. She's like, no, well, so I had no idea what to expect. And I thought she was really the one who was going to bring something. So, she mentioned something to my mom, like some prediction I don't remember what it was. And then she sat quiet for a little bit, and I was just observing her. So if anything, I was thinking something was going to come from her, maybe a saint or something related to her practice. When I started to hear that sound, the Ave Maria song. So no, I had no preconditioned notion of any of that. But as soon as I heard it, of course, my mind clicked it into what had taken place the night before, because it wasn't even 24 hours afterwards. But when I sat with her, I'm sitting with somebody, who's like in a way, if you see this as a belief system, it's similar, but there's a bunch of rules and regulations on how they connect to spirit and so very different than, the mediumship as I know it and practice it. So nothing, I didn't have any preconceived notions when I heard that. I was like, what? And what? Wait, this sounds familiar. It's kind of like, which one of these things don't belong and which ones go together? I go, goes together with that other thing from yesterday. Yep. Okay. Match up. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. But I guess this is how new experiences are born, aren't they? It happens. It just happens.
I don't know what book I was reading the other day, because I think I've always said this. I would say it to you, Michelle, because Michelle wants everything to happen all at once and then some, and when it's ending, she wants the next thing, like yesterday.
Yep.
Okay. And I was like, I'm fine with piecemeal it, let me digest it, give me another bite. I'm cool with that. I don't want to overwhelm my system right now because I was going through a lot emotionally after Michael's death. So, and I read in there, we don't give you more than what we think you can handle at that moment because it overloads your system. So we give you something, let it settle, let it digest, and and give you something else. And I thought, whoa, that's what I had said, or at least that's the way I've let this evolve, where it's no pressure. And for me, because I came into it so late in the game, in my 50s, where I'm like, well, I didn't have any of the schooling, and there were some programs that I started and they just felt very wrong to me, like somebody telling me in this field, oh, has to be 10 years and you have to put in so many hours. And I thought to myself, how do they know that? Have they done a bunch of studies? The people who do trance have all done 10 years of practice. And I said, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. To me, if anything, this sounds like a power situation. You know what I'm saying? Like in the PhD, piled higher and deeper. And they basically just, want it to be like an elite number of people that get that degree. So whatever. So I dropped that class. It was like $1,000. I'm like, I couldn't get my money back, but I'm like, if I keep going to it, kind of like, I think Christian might have mentioned it. What have people said, or what have people, what have they demanded, or what thoughts are they putting into my mind? And I said, I'm out. I can't spend a year listening to this because I'm going to take it in and I'm going to think at some level, well, this guy's been doing this for 60 years. He must know what he's talking about. So that's where the unlimited and limitless. I mean, how can you put any boundaries or any borders on any of this? And yet, as a human, I do it to myself. But I see other people like, Joan of Arc. I'm like, yeah. I mean, there wasn't the slightest fiber within my body that thought, nah, he probably thought it or something because her costume was so hot. I mean, what woman doesn't want to be like, yeah, or with a steel plate chest, right? So I just kind of, the one thing that I did decide with myself, I said, okay, if this is what I feel I'm being drawn to do, then I am surrendering.
Yeah.
100%. And when I sit there and Michelle's like, okay, let's go. Every once in a while, my human head says, well, I hope somebody's going to come through. But that surrender and letting it go, that's it. That's it for me.
Yeah. And I think that's the best way to move forward is trust the process. Just trust the process. They know what they're doing. They know, leave it up to them.
Yeah. And Christian and Alicia, who've been doing this and have so much experience and stories, and where they don't even remember to talk about them. I mean, how could you forget Joan of Arc? But anyway, they know far better than I. And I think that's pretty much what they do. They're open to cues. I mean, Alicia's all about synchronicities, and things just kind of happen to her. And then you start to think, well, they happen like that here as well for everyone. You just got to watch it. So
yeah.
It's a crazy, beautiful, magical thing. And I've said before, I hope I never become blasé or like, oh yeah, that happened. And every time I think you can't top like the alien, like, no, sorry, here's Jesus and the Virgin Mary. Oh, okay. And now Christian's saying maybe there's a possibility of Joan of Arc. So I'm like, okay, what's next? I don't want to rush it, but I'm like, ooh, yeah, there's more.
Yeah. Now you just got real motivated real quick.
Yeah, right.
No, I love it. I love it. And this is what it's all about is again, as I said, and we've all, in all of our stories, are the profound experiences that we have on this journey when you are open, when you surrender, and you are aware, when you are holistically aware.
Just something that came to my mind for you, Christian. You were talking about the vibration and how it feeds in Alicia, and it feeds into, almost like our molecular structure and our cell structure.
Right.
And yeah, like, I think, and I'm asking you guys, does that like stay then within our system, and then maybe other energies and frequencies that come through channeling and stuff like that, I imagine, build upon that?
Well, I think it can cause permanent changes, but it definitely causes evolutionary changes. But we're always exposed to all kinds of vibrations. So as long as these loving vibrations from the higher entities are ones that we hold on to and make our go-to feelings or our go-to vibration, I mean, once they become dominant, we grow in a positive way. And also, negative vibrations tend to be reflected off of us. They just don't even go through us.
Yeah.
We don't, I think, if I may say this, do we even feel them or acknowledge them if our vibration is higher?
Yeah. It's sort of like if I'm walking down the street, I may notice that someone's like in a really evil, vile, rotten mood, but it doesn't faze me.
Right. Yeah.
It's their energy over there.
It's funny you say that, Christian. You reminded me of a conversation. I kind of remember who it was that I was having it with. It might have been one of our regular groups where we get together, and someone was talking about road rage and so on, and how, what they see out there on the road and how people are, aggressive and angry. And I said, look, in all honesty, even as a passenger and even as a driver, I see nothing. Like, as in, I'm watching the road, but even my husband might be driving and he'll say, oh, did you just see that? And I'm like, no, what happened? And he'll be like, oh, mate, did you just? And I'm like, oh, where? I just do not. So it could happen right in front of us, and no acknowledgement of it. I'm probably looking over there, so again, this is a good. You will, if you're tuned into that, you'll see it. If you're not tuned into it, you won't see it. It just won't come into your field of vision, so to speak. And I just don't seem to. And even when I'm driving, people get so angry, and I am so la, la, la. I'm rainbows and unicorns. Everything's lovely. Oh, the sun's shining. Whatever someone's doing in front of me, oh, okay, that's your choice. You do that. I'll just do my thing. we're all good. So, and again, I think it comes down to exactly like it becomes our field of vision. And that negativity, once you are at such a high vibration, you just literally don't see it anymore. And it's amazing how, and people go, well, how can you not see that? I don't know, because I just don't. And by the time I get alerted to it, it's well and truly happened. And I'm like, what? Where?
Or you see it, but it feels so far removed. Or for me, sometimes I'll see that the way I might see like a preschooler having a tantrum in a store, and you're like, oh, that's too bad. They're going through that. And I look at the mom and be like, yeah, we've all been there, but it doesn't become something that affects me, where you'll see other people like getting angry that the kid is acting out, and the mom hasn't done what they're supposed to do with them. She's got to finish checking out and getting out. So just be tolerant. But yeah, you see it, but it doesn't cause a reaction.
Yes,
so stimulus,
it doesn't affect you.
Your reaction, like I see it, I acknowledge it, but it's not about me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love it. So fly high, people, fly high. That's the answer. That's what it comes down to. Yeah.
So can I just say this really quickly? Did you know every time you talk about the Archangel Azrael, I think of Azrael the cat in the Smurfs that was Gargamel's cat. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
I love it. High frequency vibration, totally cracking up. Okay, that's awesome. Way to end this show at a very high frequency. I love
Just kept hearing it. I'm thinking of that cat. I'm thinking of Gargamel, the evil wizard. And I'm like, no.
Oh, Alicia, there's always one in every crowd.
Oh, there is. And I always have to be it, don't I? Oh, God. Well, on that note, let's smile and get back to this.
Yes, exactly. Oh, and on that note, thank you, Alicia. That was a perfect ending to a fascinating conversation. I've learned so much. I didn't realize the list was so long in iconic, religious and figures, spiritual, everything. I have to get Christian to make that list and do some research myself now, because I'm like, what? Who? When? What? And all Jeannette heard was Joan of Arc. Anyway. So all I'm going to say is stay tuned for the next channeling by Jeannette, because we're expecting Joan of Arc. No pressure, Jeannette, but make it happen. Hook us up, Jeannette. Hook us up. So,
sure.
All right, guys, thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it. It's always so much fun, and I always learn so much, and I'm sure the listeners and viewers are learning along with us. Thanks so much, guys, and I look forward to having you back again very, very soon on The Medium's Table. To view the show notes, head over to themediumstable.com.au. If you want to watch these episodes, head over to our YouTube channel, The Medium's Table Podcast.